And we often share that there's more than one kind of mishaberach, and that's a strange sounding kind of a thing. But there's lots of different blessings and prayers when there's special moments in people's lives. And so I want to invite up a small group of people that are going later this week. We're going to Israel on when? Tuesday? Wednesday? Thursday. I knew that. Thursday? Good. So on Thursday, we're going to Israel. And so not everybody could make it, but those who could, if you kind of come and stand up over here with us.
So exciting.
Now, I haven't been here long enough. I don't know the last time the congregation took a tour to Israel, but it's been a while. And so all of these folks are coming with us. The Bernstein.
2007.
2007?
Yeah.
So the last, all right, so we're going to do it more than every 10 years. That one, which I know. But Howard is here because there's another small group of friends from the synagogue that are going to be traveling at the same time, but we're going to be opposite ends of the country. So, chaval. But so for all of you that are going to be traveling with us, how extraordinary. For how many of you is this going to be the very first time? It's pretty much everybody. Some have been there for work. Some have been there in the 70s. And it's a different country these days. And the opportunity for me, this is one of the most sweetest things that I could ever do as a rabbi, is to bring people to Israel. And then once you're there for a little bit, and to come around that mountaintop and from a higher point to look down at Jerusalem and have you all take that deep breath, there's really nothing quite like that for me, because this is all about me. I find that these moments are sweet, and they're beautiful, and they're compelling, and they're inspiring. And sometimes it's going to be complicated. And when we are going to get up early in the morning to visit our friends at Women at the Wall, it might be a little bit challenging. And sometimes when we meet folks who are Arab citizens of Israel, we might feel disappointed. And yet all of those things are going to be real emotions for us. And we're also going to have that sense of homecoming. So I want to share a little reading with you, and it goes like this. One does not travel to Jerusalem, one returns. One ascends. The road taken by generations, the path of longing on the way to redemption. One brings rucksacks stuffed with memories to each mountain and every hill. In the cobbled white alleyways, one offers a blessing for memories of the past, which have been renewed. One does not travel to Jerusalem, one returns. So on this return, I'm so delighted to travel with you. And yes, I am traveling with you. We had a hiccup at home, but now hiccups are over, and see you whenever day we're going. I'll be there with you. Somebody might need to wake me. So also when we met to kind of get to know everybody a little bit better, we gave this little book of blessings and meditations for when one travels and to mark some sacred time in sacred places. And so one of these readings is Mishaberach, a blessing, sharing before our pilgrimage. May the one who blessed our mothers and fathers who came before us, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and watch over this lovely group of people from Congregation Har Hashem. They are about to fulfill the mitzvah of visiting the land of Israel. May you journey, O God, may you journey with them and bring them there safely. Help them to reach their destination in the land of Israel in peace. May you return safely to us. May our and God's blessing be with you as you journey through the land of our ancestors, where our brothers and sisters today strive to rebuild and revitalize the Holy Land. May the Holy One of blessing deliver you from all trouble and distress. May you find blessing and success in all that you undertake, together with all of Israel, finding inspiration and renewal in our people and our land. And let us all say, Amen. So if I didn't see you, if you didn't join us the other day, I'll make sure you get a book afterwards in the Oneg. And we're delighted to travel with you. And I'm delighted for our wider congregation to send you off with love and with strength.
We're delighted to have you.
All right. Good. Thank you, folks.
We're even more delighted about the good news.
Good news. Yes, good news. Indeed. Thank you.
Do you want me to sing the Traveler's?
Thank you. Yes.
So this is a Traveler's Blessing. If you turn to page 649, Tefillat HaDerech, a blessing for journeys and travel. May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen.
So let's turn back to the Torah's message a little bit, just for a few more minutes. This is a section where we get to have an encounter with the Ten Commandments. So it's kind of a big deal. You know, this Torah portion is kind of a high point. We're getting these rules. Now, actually, in the text, there's nowhere that it says that these are the top 10. It doesn't say it in the text, nor does it refer to, tradition doesn't refer to these 10 commandments even as commandments. And in Jewish tradition, we know them as Aseret HaDibrot, these 10 sayings. It's much more mellow than commandments. Commandments have weight and strength, but we know that we kind of move towards that strength a little bit because this is the moment at Sinai. This is a moment where you have this incredible, dramatic image of thunder and lightning and everything shaking, and God is revealing a message. And the message are on those 2 tablets. Whenever I say that, I always think of Mel Brooks. But, so you have those 2 tablets, and there's a message. Now, the rabbis of old are going to say that these 10 commandments are symbolic of the entire Torah. If you look at only the text itself, it's kind of hard to find that, but we grow as a people. There's new ideas that evolve, and our teachers, our sages, our rabbis, and certainly our mystics are able to look at these 10 commandments, these 10 messages, and they're able to see the entire Torah. This is our Sinai moment. One of those other special things that I have a chance to do it's really kind of extraordinary. It's when a student becomes a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah, and we open up the ark, and they are up there, and their parents might be up there, and we hand this kid a Torah. And on one level in my head, I just hope and pray they don't drop it. And on the other level, the deeper level, the real level, That's our Sinai moment all over again. The opportunity to give and receive from God is kind of extraordinary. Now, the text is really very clear. In chapter 20 of Exodus, it says, I am the eternal God who took you out of the land of Egypt from the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods besides me. This is where it all begins. In the midst of all of this fanfare and lightning and shattering, and it's powerful. There's a lot of drama there. But I wonder, for so many people, so many folks in our Jewish community, I'm often asked, do you think that really happened? Is this real? You know, there's a lot of scientists in our community. I don't know if you've noticed that. There's a lot of people that are kind of wondering, could this really have happened? Now, the quick answer that I'll say is that, and folks in Torah study hear me say this all the time, it's absolutely true, even if it never happened. The truth is embedded in these texts. It has something to teach us. But it's 2018, and we can put the joking aside. What is it that matters here? Because sometimes I feel like I have to wave that flag that it can still matter. Because we have all of these other inputs that make us feel good. And we like to hike, and we go out we go out into the mountains, or we have some time with family, we have a nice dinner in town. There are so many things that make us feel good and comfortable. Where's going to be the inputs that actually drive us and make us a little uncomfortable? That's why I love the Torah. To make me feel comfortable when I'm feeling challenged, and also to challenge me when I'm getting a little bit too comfortable. There's two teachings. The first one I want to share with you is from the Gemara, from the Talmud. You know, there's commentaries and these teachings filling in the gaps from all of these rabbis because they're struggling ultimately with the same questions that we have. Now, a couple of thousand years ago, they weren't quite prepared to wonder if God is real. Does God really exist? That wasn't really the messages that they were contending with. It is for a lot of us. I know it is. What they wanted to do is, how do we make life meaningful? So there's a lot of literature that talks about a fight between Moses and angels, whether or not the Jewish people should get the Torah in the first place. And there's debates. So one of them goes like this. When Moses went up to heaven to receive the Torah, this is the Sinai moment, the angels protested, arguing that the Torah should remain in their realm. And in response, Moses says, Master of the universe, the Torah which you have given me, what's written in it? And God answers and says, the line that I just quoted to you, I am the eternal our God, your God, who took you out of the land of Egypt from the house of slavery. So Moses says to the angels, did you go down to Egypt? Where were you slaves to Pharaoh? Why should the Torah be yours? Now, if we have to break it down a little bit, why would this episode happen? Why would Moses ask the angels these kinds of questions? Were you slaves? What Moses was really asking maybe was, do you know what it's like to have hurt in your life? Do you know what it's like to have loss and feel insecure? Maybe vulnerable? They're angels. They don't feel anything. We have all of these feelings, so if we are struggling with some of the challenges that happen in life, like slavery, like being in Egypt, like living in Mitzrayim, a place that's confining. Remember, Mitzrayim is code word, not just for ancient Egypt or the country of Egypt. Mitzrayim with the root tsar, which means narrow, that is our word to say there's still a Mitzrayim where we can feel trapped, where we are having a hard time living in the world, walking in the world, loving in the world. So we need the Torah because we've been slaves, we've been beat up, and we've been hurt. And there's another piece of that literature, another kind of midrash that describes the dialogue between the angels who are envious of God's gift to Moses and the Jewish people. And they insist that God should have given the 10 commandments to these deserving angels and not to mortals of flesh and blood. And again, there's a debate. And it goes like this. Moses asked the angels if they have ever felt the desire to steal or to lie or to engage in blasphemy. And the angels stood aghast at these questions. We're angels. We could never lie or steal or profane God's name. They're flawless. They're flawless. Angels don't have the capacity to sin or miss the mark. So Moses again continues, then it's clear that this book isn't meant for you. The Bible is meant for flawed people, finite beings who are tempted and who transgress. So the first story was saying, I've been a slave in Egypt and I need something to comfort me. And Torah and God's love, because that's why God gives the Torah, out of love, that brings us some strength. But I'm also just a human being, and I'm going to miss the mark over and over and over again. Ask anyone in my family. It's real. And if we recognize that we are flawed and not perfect, and maybe give up trying to be so perfect, well, then the Torah will help us with the forgiving, and the Torah is going to help us be challenged to grow. Because all of us, no matter how young we might be, we're all still growing. That's why we're here. We're all still growing. Now, what are we going to do with that? Are we only going to apply it to my job or to our jobs or to this or to that? Or are we going to figure out how we're going to walk in the world? So I think God gives us the Torah, and we pass it to that next generation when they become B'nai Mitzvah, or when they choose Judaism and own it for themselves and convert to Judaism, or return some other way a long time later and they've tried everything else but they want to come back home. Whatever the story might be, when we hand the Torah to you and you get to hold it, whether it's physically or metaphorically, and then you cling to it like we're taught, hold fast to these words, to the tree of life, well, then we have a chance to find healing and resilience and fortitude and guidance and insight and hope. That's why God gives the Torah over and over and over and over again. The question is, do you want to receive it? Will you take a hold of it too? Will you help to plant that tree of life in your house, with your family, with your friends, with the people who are important to you, whomever they might be? Can you find a way to be challenged to grow and be inspired to care and then to do? So I really believe that this Torah thing is kind of cool. And I think we're worthy of it much more than the angels, because we're the ones that really need it. I know that I do, and I'm pretty sure that you might as well. That's okay. But if we get to journey with it together, that's a really powerful experience. And I hope that you continue that journey with us too. Let's turn